alcoholic addict.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday night with your host, LT, an alcoholic addict, who is your voice and reason for serenity and sobriety tonight.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Kind of.
I'm Felice Weaver, your co-host, married to an alcoholic addict. I've never been one, but I sure do love one.
I'm Mike Weaver, your co-host.
And there's the Cocoa host.
Cocoa host. Can I get some cocoa?
Kind of like the Cocoa Man, but different.
I got a line.
This is your first time watching. I'm an alcoholic addict, and what do you got, Linky? Go ahead.
Got a line.
I'm not lying. Drugs are bad for you.
Nice.
Only you can prevent forest fire.
Only you can prevent relapse. That's right. So, because of my 2 times in alcoholism, I'm here to share my strength and hope, or my 2 times with addiction. I'm sorry. I was a meth addict, and then I became a full-blown fifth-the-night drinking alcoholic, whiskey drinking, pounding recluse of an alcoholic. Had to check myself in a detox, did an IOP program. So I got the experience, and I like to read books, and I like to teach through the books that I'm reading because I never want to stop progressing in my education in recovery. Felice here, she has never been an addict, like she said, but she was married to one. And so there's a recovery that not only the addiction has to go through, but it's a family thing. It's a family recovery because of the stuff that we did. And that's why we continue and will continue to always say we recover better together, because if you're not recovering together as a family, then you're not
recovering.
Totally recovering. Right. We got Sapper in the house. We got PD, Merck, Brittany. What's going on, Catherine? And Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Marilyn, what's happening? We got Soupy back up in here. All right, Soupy. Hey, Chad. Thank you very much for joining the Patreon. Appreciate that. Murd. Or not Chad. Yeah, Chad. I meant Corey.
Thanks, Mark.
I haven't seen Corey yet. Murd, what's going on, brother? We got the strong stallion, Mark Stalinsky, in the house. Michael Teeter, how you doing tonight, Michael Teeter? We got Alexis. Right on, Alexis is there. I love it when she's here. Petey, Emily, and hello, Raina. Hello.
Hello.
Mark is absolutely right.
Hi, everybody.
Day 12. Yes.
Day 12.
Woo. How you feeling? How you
Got
feeling
it,
on day
man.
12? Where's your head and heart at right now? You pumped? What's your dad been telling you? How's recovery going there for you, Murd? Good. What's up, Polly? Simon, what's up? Been worried about you, brother. How you doing? You've been on my heart. You've just been, for some reason, Simon's been on my heart.
Brittany,
Glad
day
you're
4.
here.
Party.
Doing well. Good.
Y'all are in my prayers.
Yeah, in our prayers all the time. I try not to bug people too much. When they reach out, sometimes we end up swapping cell phone numbers and stuff. But if I don't hear from you for like 3 or 4 days, I'm like, life's life. We don't have to talk every day. When it gets to be like a week and a half, I'm like, I just can't help it. I just start worrying. I just know the addiction we go through, the mind games we buy into from ourselves, it just can completely rule us. And I don't want anybody to go through that. I don't want anybody to relapse. I don't want anybody to go back to the way things used to be. Because if you look at the road, if you didn't quit drinking, if you didn't quit doing drugs, where would you be right now? And if you continue in recovery, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you stay strong, work in your program, and you continue to work recovery and bettering yourself, step 1, only place it mentions alcohol and drugs. Step 2 through 12 is how you live life on life's terms, how you get in touch with yourself, how you look at your character defects. What's wrong with you? You can't go out and be a productive member of society until you fix yourself. And that's what it's all about. We got to fix ourselves, and especially from the bad habits and the way that we wired our brain to think in a survival type mode in our addiction. And we have to undo everything. We have to change everything. And that's what I'm here to help teach. I'm here to help teach because I need to learn. So what I do, this is what I do. We're going right now through this book called The 12 Steps by Joe McQ. I pre-read this. I underline, I go back. I usually read it twice. And then I say it out loud. And that makes it a third time that I've really gone through everything I do. And then it sticks in here. And now I have something valuable to add when I go to an AA meeting, or if somebody calls me on the phone, I go, oh, you know what? I remember reading this. I practiced that. It helped me. So let me give you some help. Unless we're doing that, our recovery is not going to be as easy. The more energy you put into your recovery, the better it is, and the easier it gets. That's truth. That's what I've been experiencing. Sober James in the house. What is up, brother? There he is. Look at that guy. He's got his hand up to his ears. Like, call me. Just give me a call right here. Just call me. Call me Sober James. Love it. What's up, Dwight? Howdy, everyone. 10 days to 3 years. 10 days, man. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'd be dishonest to myself and my higher power if I said life is the same today as it was May 30th, 2017. It's completely different. For the first time, I love me. Awesome.
That's awesome, Dwight. That's good to
That
hear.
date scares me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a trigger date for you?
Yep.
That's when our lives changed drastically on that day as well. Life has not been the same since for us. Thank you, Kat. Thank you for that. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, there is a book study Zoom meeting during the week. It is on Wednesdays now. Kat, the time has changed. Aubrey, hello, welcome. The time has changed, just the day. We're not doing it on Tuesdays. We're talking Tuesdays here in the United States. We're moving it to Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Thursday morning at 10 a.m. for Aubrey, who's the host and teacher of that meeting. And he's going through the big book by Charlie and
Joe.
Yeah, and Joe. It's really good. He throws out a couple readings. We listen to a little MP3 player of some good, solid literature that takes you through the big book. And then after that is over, we discuss it. Tuesdays, unfortunately, I couldn't make it at 6 because at 6:30, I have my normal Tuesday aftercare. That's kicked back off. I'm actually going now in person on Tuesdays. Yesterday was my first one. And I get to sit with my counselor, with my group that I went through my IOP with, those who transitioned. There's that 70% that never seen them again. I see them pop up on Facebook every once in a while. And then there's the other that I'd never see, and I wonder where they're at now. I hear rumors,
Stop it.
and the rumors aren't good because you go back out and you continue to live that lifestyle of insanity. There's no hope in that lifestyle. You can't go, I'm going to drink and things are going to get better. If I continue to do drugs, it'll be okay one day. I mean, I'll be able to manage my life shoving a needle in my arm one day. I mean, this is obviously going to it's just not good right now. That's the insanity of it. If I continue to pound a fifth of whiskey a night, I'm going to end up having a better relationship with my wife. It's just a matter of time if I just keep doing it. It doesn't even make sense. You have to stop. Abstinence is what we preach here. If you got to do whatever it takes to get you to that abstinence, do it. No judgment, no nothing. But the end goal is abstinence, because if you can get to where you don't need any mind altering anything for your self-mastery is the number one thing here. And I think that's in our meditation of the day. I read that. Yeah. Because he that conquers himself is greater than him who conquers a city. If you can conquer yourself, you are better off than someone who can conquer a city. Think about that. That's how hard. It's probably easier to conquer a city than it is to conquer yourself.
Repeat the time change again.
For United States, I'm going to speak Utah time. There's going to be a Zoom meeting posted in Discord and on the private Facebook group. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Utah time. So if you live east or west of us, do the math. If you're in California, minus an hour. If you're way out east somewhere, +2.
What's the next book we're going through? Alicia was curious.
Oh, the next book.
They just came in the mail today.
We're going to go through this book called Addictive Thinking. It's Understanding Self-Deception, second edition by Abram Tversky. What in the world is with all the I'm not saying this in a bad way, but there's a lot of Polish people in recovery. What is up with that? James, Merck, Soupy, can you guys just explain what is going on? This guy, Terence Gorski, he wrote this book. There's something to the Polish. They understand sobriety. They first, learn the hard way, but then they get a huge grasp on it and start writing books and making YouTube channels and becoming amazing moderators of multiple YouTube, Facebook groups like Soupy and Merc, the solid Merc, who's encouraging everybody. Every time I run into him online, he's encouraging somebody somehow.
Probably because they drink a lot. Yoski.
I'm Polish, but we low key smart, yo. Can I get some more tea?
I put the link in there, Alicia, for the book. See the next book.
Yoski. I love it.
I love all the names that end in ski.
I think I knew one Polish person my whole life until I became sober. Until I admitted my alcoholism. Now they're everywhere.
My stepdad's a Polak.
Gregor? Oh, he is,
He's
huh?
a Gregor chick.
Gregor check. That's right. All right, never mind. I've been related to one for a long time. Us Polish are just amazing folks. Can't help it. We're great. There's no doubt about it. Jerry, what's up, brother? Sliding into the meeting on day 4, feeling fantabulous. Fantabulous.
Boy, keep it up.
Hello, family.
Glad you're here.
Day 4. Good job, Jerry. Hang in there. Keep it up. Do, all the stuff.
Just for today.
Just kick its ass, man.
Just for today.
No worries, man.
Good question. I'm not sure.
How about
It's
you just
just-
send us your address and we'll send you one and we'll just figure it out later.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. Okay, brother? We're not here to make money. We're here to just offer support and love. And obviously, we do want to have income coming in to support this so that I can quit my job one day. But sobriety, support comes first, and then income. And whatever income we get, we're going to try to give back as much as we can. So just send us your address.
Hey, Denise. Hey, Aaron.
Aaron.
What
I
is
was
going
thinking
on?
about her today. I was thinking about positive people, and I was like, and Aaron just like, bink, just like popped right into my head.
Nice. Working out at the gym.
Good.
Get it.
And
Beast
sober.
mode.
How's everybody doing at the Sawyer house and Anchored Hearts? All the relapsers. Everybody that I pictured like bowling pins at the Anchor house like 4 days ago. Everybody was in their formation and a bowling ball came and there was a strike. Or maybe there was
And
a
some
split.
of you did this, and some of you
Yeah.
went.
How's everybody doing out there?
Maybe some of them got spared.
Some of them got spared.
It's a relief that they not only accepted my apology, but are proud of me. Oh, how do you feel now? Look at Michael working his program. Give us the benefit and what you feel like now on this side of that. Obviously, but going into the situation is very scary, anxious, and all that good stuff. Now, how do you feel? Glad for the Zoom
hate
meeting day
allergies.
change now. I can join because the old time was the same time as my home. I know it works better for me too, and 2 of my friends here locally that want to be a part of it. And I think that's good. The way Aubrey talks, he needs at least 100 people in there. That guy has like straight up a heart of gold, a heart of love, and he, from the depths of his heart, he sincerely loves helping people. He says he loves watching people wake up from the dead. He loves watching the light turn back on in their eyes, and it's amazing. Hey Mo, what's going on?
Whoa. Yeah, no problem, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Send us your address.
Especially for a special day,
Back on track.
Nay,
put it all behind
Naomi
me,
Johnson.
Moving forward. Thank you for support and love.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Moving
You guys
forward.
are back on track. That's awesome.
Can't move backwards. Got to move forward.
Excuse me in my nose.
Well, let's move forward in sobriety, huh?
Raina, we're gonna hand deliver yours
Later.
later.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Don't go backwards. You're not
A little
going that way.
dyslexic there, I see.
Teeter says, I honestly thought they still hated me and be all mad at me, still from my past. Yeah, definitely. Those thoughts do come into our mind because of what we did. We did what we did deserve it. You know what I mean? Aubrey has a ton to share. I'm looking forward to soaking up all he has. And Kat is working her program. Do you want to talk about somebody giving 110, 120%? That's Kat. A lot of people say, I'm an addict. Everything I do is 100% or more until it comes to the 12 steps. But not Kat. She's 110, 120% working her program. She's got her books out. She's writing, underlining. She's got the coolest AA book I've ever seen. It's all got skulls on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Really rough week dealing with the loss of my son. And oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Mo.
That's rough.
We understand those anniversaries. If you speaking frankly about Link Tai, he's not the same kid he was the day before the accident. He's got a completely different personality. We're not, complaining or nothing, but
You know what I figured out the other day?
What?
The pictures before the crash, I look older than I do after the crash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
We'll
crazy.
we'll have to put up some pictures of Linky. Hey, but let's get into our AA thought of the day, huh? It's May 20th. If we get up in a meeting and we tell something about ourselves in order to help the other person, we feel a whole lot better. It's the old law of the more you give, the more you get. Witnessing and confession are part of keeping sober. You never know when you may help somebody. Helping others is one of the best ways to stay sober yourself. And the satisfaction you get out of helping a fellow human being is one of the finest experiences you can have. Our question to ourselves today is, am I helping others? It's a good question. That's true, man. Once you help somebody else, that is the best way to stay sober. You're not even thinking about using, you're not being triggered, but you're just focusing on somebody else. And the reward is totally amazing. I can concur.
Yeah, it's just a good job.
Yeah, even just a kind word, huh?
Yeah.
So meditation for the day. Without God, no real victory is ever won. All the military victories of our great conquerors have passed into history. The world might be better off without military conquerors. The real victories are won in the spiritual realm. He that conquers himself is greater than he who conquers a city. The real victories are the victories over sin and temptation, leading to a victorious and abundant life. Therefore, keep a brave and trusting heart. Face all your difficulties in the spirit of conquest. And remember that where God is, there is true victory. And our prayer of the day is, I pray that forces of evil in my life will flee before God's presence. I pray that with God, I will win the real victory over myself.
Nice. I watched the
Amen.
Ronda Rousey documentary, and those fighters, man, that's what they do right before, like as they're training. They're like, first it's a battle to win the doubt and stuff in my own head before I can get in the ring and beat an opponent.
Yeah, you got to beat that self-doubt.
I was
for
like,
sure.
That's good advice. That was a good documentary. Is it?
Well, fruit salad is probably,
Fruit
is it the
salad?
soupery? Yeah, I don't know.
Yummy.
There's a lot of
yummy.
questions to be answered there.
Is it
I
the kind
didn't-
with the marshmallows and the Cool Whip?
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. And
You-
the bananas and the tiny oranges.
You just keep telling yourself that, Aaron. Well, we'll support you. All right, so we are on the last couple pages of this book. So I'm going to read just a paragraph, chit chat about it, read another paragraph. There's only a few left. But what we've learned so far is 8 and 9 are very similar to 3 and 4. 8, you're making a decision, and 9, you're moving into action, right? You're becoming willing in step 8. And just by becoming willing, you are freeing yourself. And that's what this is all about. Total freedom of step 3 and 4 is giving you freedom of resentments. 8 and 9 is getting you freedom from shame and guilt and fear, right? The fear factor. I understand that fear factor when I walked around that pod for 1 month in the same pod as the dude I stole an $800 coat for and sold it for meth. Wondering, oh my God, is he ever going to know? And if he knows, he's going to beat me up. The dude was twice my size. But as soon as I apologized, confessed it to him, and he said respect, the rest of my time in that set jail with him was peaceful, and we actually became friends and sat and played cards and all that kind of stuff. Freedom. I freed myself from fear at that point. I freed myself of guilt and shame. And guess what I was doing when I was in that guilt and shame and fear of him because I stole from him because of what I did? I put myself into freedom, and I was a slave to my own mind, and I was a slave to him because of the fear I had of him. I did not have peace in that first month. I was, checking the corners of my eyes. Anytime he moved, I was like, where's he going? That's all I thought about. But as soon as I was free to think freely and to be at peace. It's a true awesome thing. And remember that we're doing this for ourselves. Even if we're making the amends, we would injure someone and we can't actually make them. When we become willing and we are freed from the guilt and remorse, we have to keep us back. Have kept us back. We have to be sure to get this point across. We are doing this for ourselves, not for the benefit it may bring the person we are making to the amends, which is going to bring a benefit to them as well. And we are conscious of it, but that's not our drive. Our drive right now is to learn how to live life on life terms and fix everything that we just screwed up. And that's taking care of ourselves. That's putting the mask on yourself and the crashing plane before you can put it on your spouse or kids next to you, right? And so that's the freedom we are working on ourselves. For this first year in sobriety, focus on yourself and the things you need to do to get there. And steps 8 and 9 is another step to freedom. And you got to take action. If you don't work the steps, there's no benefit in them at all. So if you're not, just like Teeter, he went and he made an amends today. He just grew a little. He's going to hit his 90 days for sure. He's working his program. If you are working your program, you are on the road to recovery. You can't fail. You're not going to fail. I have a friend who got lackadaisical in his recovery. He didn't relapse and drink, but he relapsed mentally and he wasn't at peace. He wasn't at serenity. He started having crazy cravings. He had to go to a doctor, all this kind of stuff. The week he starts working his program, all his symptoms were cured. Work your program. It works. So then when we get to step 9, we are actively pursuing these amends. We made a list. Now, later, I may and may not, and then never. There's 4 categories you can put the people in your amends. And an amends is it's the rest of your life. Even in recovery, we're going to make mistakes with people. We're going to hurt people's feelings or whatever. And we're going to have to continue to make amends. It's just human nature. It's what we do. But working on the past amends to get releases from that fear, guilt, and shame, we have 4 categories. We put them in now, later, I may, and I may not, and never. Never's deceased. You can't get a hold of them. You don't have no idea where they're at. And sometimes they're just such a difficult situation that you put them in that never category. But years down the road, you let God work out all the timing, and it could become a thing that you could do. You're always looking to make amends. And you start with the easiest one first. If it's your parents, they're close by, they're the most willing to embrace you. And like we said, if you have a good amount of recovery, you got 6-8 months of recovery under your belt, they've seen the progress you've made, they've seen the turnaround in you, they're going to be more receptive to hearing it. And they're going to be more grateful for the apology, understanding that it's probably coming from a more sincere heart. And so take action, do the easy ones first, and just start working your way through the list. And this isn't something you go out and rush and do the first day because you're not letting God in to have his perfect timing, because God will set up perfect situations to where when you say sorry, it's going to bring glory to him, to the person you said it to, and to yourself. It's going to be a triangle of just amazingness. You know what I mean? And then we learned about money. If you owe somebody money and you can't pay them, at least make arrangements to try to pay somebody back, which gets us onto our part here where we left off. And it says about this old saying, many people love things and use people. We must learn to use things and love people. Most selfish, self-centered people have seen other people. We're on page 117, Kat, if you got your book out. Right next to that old saying. Most selfish and self-centered people. I'm just going to read through the last little bit of this book tonight, and that's going to be the topic because it's going to dive down. Because once we make amends, once we start getting rid of our guilt and shame, we have to learn how to value people now, because in our drug addiction and our selfishness, we used them, and that we didn't care who got in the way. When I was a meth addict, that was probably the most harm I caused a lot of people. I just ran them over. I did not care. All right, starting over again. So most selfish, self-centered people have seen other people as something to be used instead of valuable asset to a good life. They have run people off. They don't really even see the purpose of having other people in their lives. Most self-centered people keep on being selfish and self-centered until they become successful at it. and they end up alone. That's why they have worked all their lives getting other people out of their lives. But human beings were made to rely on God and each other. People who try to rely on self cut themselves off from God and other people and make their lives hard. So we can see that steps 8 and 9 are ways that we can put things back in our lives that we need: a relationship with God and a nurturing relationship with other people. We will not be using people as we did in the past, but we will see how we need people. We recover better together. The more successful a person is living, the more people he has in his life, while the selfish, self-centered person will drive people out of his life. While we need to have a nurturing, healthy relationships with other people, we also need to emphasize that we are not making these amends for the purpose of getting people to like us. Yeah, we're not trying to go out and be like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. Are we friends now? You know, that person may not like you, but you become willing. You've released your guilt, fear, and shame. If they don't like you, you move on. You cannot control. That takes you back to step 1. We're powerless. We're powerless over other people. And sometimes we may get thrown out of somebody's office when we try to make amends, but that's the other person's problem, not yours. If I've made amends and we've done our part, then it doesn't make any difference. If they still have a problem, let them have it.
That's a hard thing to do sometimes because you want so bad for them to like you and take it positive, and sometimes you just got to let it go and let them be angry.
It's going to happen.
But it's difficult. It's okay that it's difficult. Oh, good night, Dwight.
Dwight, good night, brother. Oh, no worries. No worries. Make sure you email. Do you have my email? And you can email me some of your contact info, and we'll connect right there, brother. John, how's it going?
Hey, John.
You're on our heart. You're on our heart and in our prayers, brother. A lot of times we don't realize that some of the attitudes people have towards us have been based on what we have been doing. And that's why they may have struck us or hurt us. It was our actions that gave them that attitude. And that's another thing we have to accept. Not only is not everybody going to like you, and that's their problem, they're not working a program and they may not know how to let go of resentments and end up holding a grudge against you. But at the core of it, it's something we did to give them that attitude towards us. So we do our part to forgive our part and forgive ourselves. We're doing this for ourselves. A lot of times we feel people are plotting against us. I heard James talking about this on his channel today. Everybody's thinking about me, you know. Listen to this book hit it. I was like, whoa, he's going right where the book is today. So a lot of times we feel people are plotting against us, but we really have to be self-centered to think that, because most people are actually not thinking about us at all. Most people have better things to think about. There's a joke about a guy at a football game who thought that every time the players huddled out on the field, they were talking about him. I think it's natural for us to be concerned with what other people think, because that helps us monitor our behavior. We have to have some concerns for what others think. But you know, it's like water. We have to have water to bathe and to drink, but we don't want 20 feet of it standing in the street. That's a disaster. So you want some feedback from people. You need positive reassurance in what you do, and you need constructive criticism in your life to help your behavior tweak. But you don't need 20 feet of it standing in your living room. A lot of times we don't have very good sense of self-worth, and we try to use people to verify ourselves. Once we have done step 4 and we begin to know ourselves and like ourselves, then our relationships are built on something firm. The relationships can be healthy for us and for other people. These steps are a process, and we have already worked the first 7 steps. What will happen if we don't go ahead and take that step 8 and 9? We won't get over the guilt and remorse, and they will come back in our minds and they will produce fear. We are going to have to hide from these people. We're going to have to avoid people that we owe money to. That fear is going to produce some self-pity and resentment. And that's what we're trying to free ourselves from. This will block us off from the decisions we made in step 3 and from the sunlight of the spirit, as Bill W. put it in the big book on page 66. The chances are good that we are going to drink again or go back to our compulsive behavior. So what may happen if we do steps 1 through 7 perfectly and then we don't do steps 8 and 9 is that we may lose everything we accomplished. You got to finish it. And this is where he's going to start calling it the cake, I think. So what are we doing here is we're getting rid of what Bill called our grosser handicaps. These are things that dominate our minds. Remember, we have committed ourselves to the whole process. We can't just stop here and say, I'm going to leave this part off. It's like making a cake. If your recipe has 12 steps in it, you have to do all 12. If you just do 7, you're not going to have a cake. The 12 steps are a whole living life on life's terms. And if you stop at step 8 or stop at step 7, even though you've done it perfectly, by not making amends, you're going to revert back into fear, resentments, and shame and guilt. And you've done nothing. These are our grosser handicaps: resentments, fear, and guilt and remorse about the past. If we don't do a step 8 and 9, these things continue to dominate our minds and block us from God. Most of the negative things which go on in our minds can be put under one of these headings, either resentments or self-pity, which are also resentments, or some form of fear or guilt and remorse for something we have done or haven't done. The completion of step 8 and 9 is a culmination of the action steps. Now we are ready to receive the promises. So once you get up through the action steps, 4, 8, and 9, then are you ready to start receiving these promises that are in the big book on page 83 and 84. So if you have the big book and you haven't read the promises, I'm sure you've heard them in AA meetings. I'm sure you heard them in NA meetings, and you've heard people talk about the promises. But grab your big book if you have it handy, turn to page 83 and 84 and look for this paragraph, and let's circle and underline it. What did Desmond say? It is sad, but my mom wouldn't have anything to do with me because I was in AA. She died 2 years ago, and she wouldn't speak to me for 16 years. Oh, I'm sorry, Desmond.
That is hard.
Man.
That's very, very hard.
And is that because you were in AA, or is it because of your addiction and you never got to make amends, or what? What was the deal with that?
Welcome, Gina and
Buck
Lady.
What's up? Buck Lady 72. Sweet. Self-centered people think like that, thinking they are unique and always being talked about. Now today I know they are talking about me, I say. I hope you got a self-esteem boost from that. That's good. Hey, if you guys are new here, please hit that like button on the Facebook side. Just real quick, push that like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And on the Facebook side of things, hit the like, heart, care button, whatever one you want, and share us out. Share us out. Start a watch party. You can just copy the link and paste it in a few of your groups, and get us out there. Let's teach the world how to relapse. We've done our IOPs. We just got into recovery. Now what? We got to learn. We got to continue to learn. And don't forget, this is just a supplement. In face-to-face AA and NA meetings and in the cognitive relationship of lightning and thunder.
Stormy.
Of group therapy is very, very valuable. It's more valuable than the computer stuff, if you can do that. If you can't, this is a supplement, but this can be added to that and help you in that. And you can take education and go to that too. And anything we say here, we're not doctors, we're not psychologists or none of that kind of stuff. We just share our experience and we read from books that are accredited. But anything we say is just a suggestion. You go ahead and do whatever you want.
You do you. Gina says those promises are the things that kept me sober in early sobriety.
Awesome.
Very cool.
All right, let's read the promises. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Page 83, 84 out of the big book. That's awesome. And it's so cool. When I was first going to AA and NA and I'm hearing these readings, I'm just like, do we have to read this every time? Oh man, it's been 20 minutes. But then I go back and I've been chewing on these readings and wow, are they powerful. And the cool thing is the longer you and harder you work your program, the more these readings come to life and you're like, okay, I get it now. Gives you something to think on, chew on, meditate.
Marcus, you're making me hungry.
I'm hungry too. So if we look at the promises, we will see that these are the things we are trying to get from our old destructive practices. We are trying to wrestle these things out of our life with alcohol, drugs, food, relationships, gambling, or whatever we were using. And now that we have removed these things that blocked us from God, and now that we have tapped this unsuspected inner resource, which is on page 569 and 570 in the big book, we have found a power more beneficial than the power we found in alcohol or drugs or other compulsions. At one time, the power of these things seemed satisfactory to us. Then they turned on us and became our destruction. We abandoned them in step 1. We made a decision in step 3. On a new power we had begun to find in step 2. With step 9, we have completed the actions. We have found the inner resources of strength, and that power has solved our worst problems. Become willing, take action, make those amends, get rid of fear, guilt, and shame. Work your step 3 and 4, get rid of your resentments, and be free. Be free at last of the life that we used to live, the lifestyle that we used to live, because it was not beneficial to us. It left us our lives unmanageable, and we were powerless over it. It's amazing. And that's steps 8 and 9 out of the big book by Joe McQ. What do you guys think about that? Was that a good little 3-part series on 8 and 9? It definitely helped me. I've learned a ton from that book. I'm glad now that I've studied the steps more in depth. I read through them. I kind of, as I was doing my steps, but I'll be finished with my step 7 this week, and I'm going to read it next Tuesday. I'm going to try to read it. The timing kind of is off, but I'll definitely, maybe I can just read it to my sponsor and you guys or something. But I'll be done with my step 7, and then I'll be on to my step 8, where I'm making a list. We'll see how that goes. And on that note, let's check out Cassie's quote of the day.
Hey guys, glad to be back here with your motivational quote on recovering addicts. If you can learn self-control, you can master anything. That one was anonymous. And as always, let's continue to spread that love.
Mr. Anonymous? Something like that. Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Just at gas station, everyone. All buying their booze. I told myself, nope, I got you in play now. Nice. You're welcome, Alicia. Hey, thank you for being here in our recovery and the stuff you add to it, because we recover better together. It's a partnership here, man. And you have a good night's sleep, good gratitude, positive thoughts, good vibes, good energy. Wake up happy. We're alive. We're recovery. We're sober. Thanks for being here, Alicia. I really, really, really enjoy you.
Merd said it was a quote from Captain Anonymous.
Crystal, welcome back.
Hey, Crystal.
In order for our sobriety or recovery to be truly possible, a complete psyche change must occur. We must retrain our process. B, must stop blocking ourselves, must blocking ourselves from the sunlight.
We must. I think.
We must stop blocking ourselves from the sunlight of the Spirit. Amen.
God. Yes.
Amen. Absolutely.
It's true.
A complete
Soften up our
psyche
hearts.
change. That's like I always say, you got to change everything. You have to rewire your brain. You've been living in survival mode, and it was a destructive survival mode, telling lies, being deceptive, manipulative, doing whatever you had to do to get your next fix. It's completely selfish, and your brain was wired to do it. It became our personality, and through steps 3 and 4, all the way up through 9, we are completely reversing that. And it's a day-to-day battle. It takes a time. It's not going to be a miracle. There's no zap. There's nothing that's going to cure you on the spot. You got to put in the work, and it's worth it because the work gets, at first you're like, oh, you can't wrap your head around it. But once you start grasping the work, you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. And then you start reaping the rewards of this work. And then it becomes pleasurable. And then it becomes desired. And then you make it a habit. It just becomes very, very rewarding. And not only is it rewarding to yourself, as you start to get back into that sunshine of the spirit, you start becoming that beacon of reflection to people around you, and they start seeing a change in you. And just by that, you stop the decay of mankind and character defects, and you start lifting their spirits and helping them want what you have. What is up with this guy? Why is he so happy? It's a good thing. Continue to do it, reap the rewards, and watch people around you grow.
Yeah. I concur.
Kat, good night. Thank you for being here.
Good night, Kat.
Jerry, we're glad you're here. And just having you here and give us little comments like that and stuff is encouraging to us. Tonight is our 66th live stream in a row.
66.
Yeah, we're on number 66, and we ain't stopping, y'all.
Oh, creepy. 66, and then we had yesterday 666. Creepy.
Oh, man, I'm hungry. I didn't eat yet.
I had a couple eggs and avocado. Now I have to not eat the rest of the night.
It's all good, Crystal. I'm getting good at reading through that stuff, or better, I should say. Change your thinking will change your behavior. Practice new behaviors until it becomes automated. And here comes another character defect that needs to be changed. That's awesome. Sobriety in God's name, and write down your positive affirmation on paper. Read it every day and it will manifest. Amen.
That's good advice.
I like that. So I got this thing pulled up that I'd like to go over for the last 10 minutes. And I talked about it a couple nights ago, but it's 10 small habits that will bring more happiness and freedom to your life, because we're talking about freedom here, right? And here's just some habits that you can do daily just to help. And I'm going to read it word for word from this website called Holly Shreery. What does that say?
Too cursive E for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Holly Shreerer. 10 habits. And the first one's gratitude. We all know about the gratitude list, right? Oh, let's answer this real quick. Sapper. How do you get over anger? I've been pissed off ever since I stopped drinking. Try not to be whatever little things set me off. Any suggestions? Have a great wife and kids and don't want to be. Yeah. So how long you been clean and sober there, Sapper? And what is your nutrition like? Because you could be going through post-acute withdrawal syndromes. Your body's going through changes. Your brain is healing because you've poisoned yourself. You can expect those things. Use tools like HALT. Are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Are you tired? Are you getting enough sleep? Water. Tons of water. Got to be drinking water. We got to flush ourselves. But you're aware of it. And just apologize to them beforehand. Say, look, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better. I'm coming off drugs and alcohol, and this is how I feel. Just let people know how you're feeling. Don't hold that anger inside, and don't wait till the last second of that annoying, like me, my ears are super sensitive. I got high senses, I swear. But the dog walking across our wood floor and her nails clicking, like all of a sudden intensifies it. And then my kid's over there chewing with his mouth open, and I'm just like, and then finally I snap, try to, as soon as I start hearing the dog when I'm in, because right now she could walk across the floor, I'd be fine. But on those type of days, I know what you're talking about. I'll just say, put her outside and then extinguish it and try to just get ahead of them, Pam, 66 is my age and I love it. Wisdom.
Nice.
It's way awesome.
Matchy.
My dad has always said, put the monkey on their back. And I did not understand what that until now. If you don't let go and let God and make those amends and heal from the past, you will never be able to move on. That's so true. That's
good
a
advice, Brittany.
fact. 3 weeks. Yeah. So you're right. I still get irritable. If I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm irritable. If I don't, when you get hangry, you start getting irritable.
HALT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I was just reiterating the acronym.
Oh, hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. But you're aware of it and do what you can to combat it and just be honest with your emotions. Tell your wife, like, hey, doing my best. I apologize if I'm being a jerk. And a lot of times this is what I experienced. And this is what one of my buddies in my IOP experienced. We felt that same way. And I had to ask my wife because my buddy Rob asked his wife. He went up to his wife and he's like, hey, I'm sorry I've been like this. And, I'm just going through some things. She's like, in the way that you feel, you are 10 times better now than you were when you were drunk. Uh-huh. So whatever you're feeling, you're doing a good job. So you're probably doing better than you think. And you're probably not you probably don't look as irritable as you feel because when you were actively using, you were worse, and they see that.
Give yourself some credit.
Yeah. You're doing a good job, dude. Keep it up. All right. So gratitude is number one. Gratitude is number one for a reason. This habit has changed my outlook on life and has made me happier. There's no better way to start your day. It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that you're able to create the habit. Maybe you place a small journal next to your bed or go through it mentally while brushing your teeth. Just start doing it and watch your life change. This person on Valentine's Day 2012 started a new note in every note titled Gratitude Journal. Each morning after brushing my teeth, I jumped on the elliptical machine and opened this note in my smartphone. Then I wrote down at least 3 things I was grateful for. The first thing I wrote down that day was the first thing I listed today, my loving and supportive spouse. Yes, that's right. I still use this habit today. It's the very first thing I do when my alarm goes off. I hit snooze and I list everything I'm grateful for every morning. And if you write it down with a pen and paper, it makes it even better. Do it. Number 2 is hydrate. Water is the cheapest and most underrated health food available. It's the key to healthy skin. It helps fight fatigue and controls hunger. A good rule of thumb is to drink half your body weight in ounces each day, more if you exercise. I like to track my water intake using a reusable bottle. It becomes so consistent that I can fill it when I don't get, this person can fill when they don't drink their full 96 ounces. Wow, that's like 225 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of water.
No, that's how much she weighs if half of 96.
Yeah.
So give. The third one is give. My favorite habit, each day, I create value by giving my time or resources to someone else without expecting anything in return. It takes very little time and shifts the focus from myself to serving others. Play and connect. This is a good one. I like this one. I could easily work 16 hours a day, or you could get ornery or whatever and just stay recluse from your family. But I like to stay busy and love the feelings of accomplishment. But more important than the success and productivity is finding time to play and connect with my spouse. Over the years, we found ways to do this that connect to other habits like giving, moving, and enjoying fresh food. Finding time to play and connect every day is an important part of achieving your goals long term. So your significant other, your kids, take some time, put the phones down and just goof around, play, wrestle, whatever. Play and connect. Remember, this is what we're doing for habits that will bring you happiness and freedom into your life. And then center yourself. Whether you prefer meditation or prayer, finding a centering practice will change the course of your day. This person's made it part of their first hour of each day. It helps them to let go and find clarity so that they can bring my best to every day. So start small by setting aside 5 minutes to repeat a prayer or sit silently. Focus on your breathing, and there are many great resources and guidance for meditation. So just be mindful is what I see in that. Just sit there, breathe, enjoy life for a minute with your gratitude list and center yourself, and then tackle your day. The sixth one is move. Our bodies aren't designed to sit all day at a desk. They're designed to move and work. And the opposite of that, I taught a resiliency class up on base. It says to balance out your day. So if you're a desk jockey for the first half of your day, the last 3 or 4 hours of your day, you should do something kind of active, walking around and moving around. You got to balance that out. And now if you're a construction worker and you're lifting heavy objects and stuff the first half of your day, the last half of your day, you want to rest and rehydrate and do all that kind of stuff. So it's a balance thing. But make it a point every single day. You don't need to be a gym rat to build a healthy body. A simple walk around the block after dinner, 30 minutes of yoga will change your body almost immediately. And then fresh food. Eating healthy is confusing. Should you go for vegan, paleo, or juice cleanse? Just make it simple. Family motto is just eat real food.
Cabbage and sausage.
And then learn. After finishing high school, a lot of people or college, they want to take a break from learning, but never stop learning. It's a big mistake. There's never been a better time to learn either. We all have at our fingertips all the knowledge in the whole world, and we're looking at videos of cats. That's a meme somewhere I read. Disconnect, and that's turning off your digital and social platforms. I did that the other day. We went and played disc golf, and I usually carry my phone, and I'll be checking emails and texting people. But this time I didn't bring the Bluetooth speaker. We just went out and spent an hour on the course. No phones, no nothing. And that's probably what we'll do from now on, except the music part.
Yeah.
I like jamming.
I just hate carrying it around. It's annoying.
And number 10 is rest. Our minds and bodies need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Pfft. Yeah, right. I know it needs it, but I ain't ever getting that. So rest. Make a habit to rest. Create bedtime habits. Make sure you're getting your share of rest. Turn off your screens, dial back, heat, and make it extra dark. And stick to a schedule. That's what I need to do.
So I guess we're not watching Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, Calvin, is that the name of it?
Hobbes and Shops.
Calvin and Hobbes. That's an old one.
Can't remember
What did Petey say? I had something happen today that was unusual. This person I owed money to saw me and heard that I was 93 days clean and sober. I tried to pay him something on it, and he told me that I didn't owe him anything as long as I stayed this way. But if I used again, I owe him double. Nah.
Oh,
Boom.
man.
That's
Petey.
cool.
That's awesome.
Restless, irritable, and discontent. Yep. Happen all when you're first stopped. Yes, that's true. Gratitude list. Yeah, us alcoholics are restless, irritable, and discontent. That's what drove us to drinking pretty much. Faith forward in all issues to heaven. Amen.
I like that.
I love her Christian views.
I love it too.
I'm drinking water right now with some lemon. I heard that's really good for you. 45 ounces of water for the 95-pound wimp.
So are you?
This person was drinking 95 ounces of water, which means I looked it up and I should drink 95 ounces. But that doesn't make sense. Hold on.
That's what it said. 16 ounces is a cup.
96 ounces. Wow. I did the math on my body, and I should drink almost a gallon of water every day. When I was working out, I was drinking a gallon and a half of water every day. As soon as I woke up, and you can actually get like a gallon milk jug, we'll rinse one out, and you can draw lines on it, what time of day, like 10:30 a.m., where the water line should be.
That's not very much. It's only a quarter gallon.
Oh.
I drink about half a gallon.
Okay, so this person weighs almost 200 pounds. Enjoy the little things we don't normally appreciate. Yes. I got something for you. I just got to stop by the post office. Woo!
It's a surprise.
Hoagies and cheesesteaks and pizza. And Polly's a manly man.
Stop it.
The cabbage is saucer. Mr. Farts a lot.
But it's so good.
Oh, you're a sausage and cabbage guy there, Soupy?
Yes.
That's all she eats, man. I hate
At
it.
least once a week. It's delicious. And
Yeah,
you can
I've
eat
read
so much of it.
I've read every Calvin and Hobbes book. I read them all when I was a kid. I loved Calvin and Hobbes.
Spring water is where it's at.
We got spring water here. So our house lives where we live. We live on a natural spring. Flows right underneath our house. We had to fix our basement because of it. And there's a few natural springs, and they all tie down over here into North Ogden. And there's a tree they built, and that just pumps water out. And people, they fill up those big old huge round water jug things. Pretty cool.
Aubrey, what are liters? What is that?
2.8 liters.
I don't know what liters.
Where are you from? Australia or something?
Yeah, who uses liters?
Apple cider. That's good. Cleansing. It's a common thing in the gym. Yep.
Hey, up.
Where's our hoagie, Polly?
I can't do the corned beef. I'll stick to the sausage.
We should have brought some back with you. Oh, very nice.
Night, John.
All right, let's read our just for today. Oh, coming out of isolation. That's funny. We find ourselves doing and enjoying things that we never thought we would be doing. Basic text, page 102. Active addiction kept us isolated for many reasons. In the beginning, we avoided family and friends so they wouldn't find out we were using. Some of us avoided all non-addicts, fearing moral backlash and legal repercussions. We belittled people who had normal lives with families and hobbies. We called them uncool, believing we could never enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Eventually, we even avoided other addicts because we didn't want to share our drugs. Our lives narrowed, and our concerns were confined to the daily maintenance of our disease. Ugh, so true. Today, though, our lives are much fuller. We enjoy activities with other recovering addicts. We have time for our families, and we've discovered many other pursuits that give us pleasure. Want to change from the past? We can live life just as fully as the normal people we once scorned. Enjoyment has returned to our life, a gift of recovery. So just for today, I can find pleasure in simple routines and of daily living. Amen. That's really good.
That was a good one. I was kidding, Aubrey.
We are here every night, 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's Utah time. And we are here to teach strength, hope, and all that good stuff from our experiences, from all the books that we read. And we're building a community. So if you're not in our private Facebook group, please jump in there. We have a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock on Wednesdays now. 6 o'clock Wednesday Zoom meeting. Saturday at 3 o'clock Zoom. And an amazing private Facebook group with some amazing people in it.
Does this thing work? How do I get my thing back?
So until next time.
Well, it's in the comments somewhere. You have to look for it.
Yeah, we'll get you guys.
I can't get the thing to come back. That's what I've been doing. Look, how'd you do that?
Well,
show me again. Does that have to be like at a diagonal? Whatever. Here's the link. This is too high tech for me.
Flace gets confused very easy.
We're doing the same motion.
First, stop noticing you've become an addict. You're compromising with your beliefs, which is why we learn to hate ourselves as addicts. Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. All right, if you're not a part of our private Facebook group, join us. We have some awesome people in there. Hit that like button before you go, please. Share these YouTube videos wherever you can. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for your guys' support and encouragement to us as we do this.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to be here every night. This is our 66. We don't plan on going anywhere until the power goes out. But until then, until tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Pray.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. That's why she's here. God,
grant me
the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the
courage to change the
things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen.
At 8 o'clock tomorrow, we will see you then. Until then, stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.